I told you I found you a perfect match. Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Hello and welcome to A Perfect Match after 2 weeks. I'm Aysha and we are here to talk about Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 11. We're so glad to be back. It's like wiping the dust off our mics. But we are here to talk about this episode, and I am here with a guy who every week, right before we start recording, I'm like, I need more. I need you to be funnier. I need you to bring it. Okay. I really need you to show me more. And he's like, look, this is all I have to give. What you're seeing is all I have to give. So I settle for the little laughs I do get here and there. But here's my co-host, Jason Reed. Jason, how are you?
Aysha, I'm doing great. Quick, on the count of 3, should we cover this episode? 1, 2, 3. No. Turn it off.
Thank y'all so much for sticking with us.
Boy, this episode. Okay, so a lot happened, right? Like we had some momentous occasions happen. We had, spoiler alert, we had a couple leave the experiment. We had a couple break up. We had someone get rematched. But why? How is it so boring? And I don't get it. I don't understand. And then the nerve, the audacity, the gall to make it 2 hours and not tell us, to make me realize this when I'm fast forwarding through commercials. I'm getting to like an hour 30. I'm like, wait a minute. What's happening? What?
Literally.
And then I see the time left. There's still an hour left. I told my wife, is this a 2-hour episode?
I was like,
maybe
maybe after.
Episode. I plan my bedtimes around this. I cannot do an extra 30 minutes.
I was thinking maybe after party was an hour. I was like, I know we only have like 15 minutes left. They said 2 hours, and we're not going to warn you. We're not going to put a warning message at the beginning or anything.
Nothing. I'd have taken an extra 30-minute after party, because after party is, in a 30-minute block, after party is probably about 12 minutes of content. Yeah. and the rest is ads.
Yeah. Ads and recaps of what we just watched.
Yeah, I could have got the after party in like 20 minutes. Okay. But the nerve.
Exactly.
And then to make the last 30 minutes this really just downer anniversary party. The most lackluster 1-month anniversaries we've ever gotten. Like, in 17 seasons of the show, the most lackluster, least enthusiastic 1-month anniversaries you've ever had.
Like, I guess we'll celebrate.
We're not even celebrating. We're not even going to mention the word anniversary.
Yeah.
No one say that word in my presence.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, we'll still cover it. We'll still talk about what happened. We are here.
We decide to show up. I'm like Brennan to an anniversary dinner. I'll come, but I'm not dressing up. Okay.
Exactly. I'm gonna put on a t-shirt and a hoodie.
Yeah, if you want to make me go, I'm not dressing up for it. Okay.
Exactly. But we do have a lot to cover up front. So make sure you go subscribe to our Love at First Sight feed. That's where you can get all the podcasts about Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, the show Perfect Match. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. Also subscribe to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel, where you can see our faces and you can see our expressions when we talk about these things.
A pretty face.
Yes. And make sure you hit the thumbs up so we know that you are liking it. The views have been amazing, but we need y'all to give thumbs up as well. We really appreciate those. And so, yes, make sure that you go subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating and review. We have them in abundance right now. We're so excited. We're so happy.
That doesn't mean don't leave reviews. That just means we're just saying we got a lot, because we quote unquote begged before and we got a lot.
And then
but keep leaving them. We still appreciate them. Just because we got a lot doesn't mean we don't want more.
Right. So we definitely want to shout out a couple. So one is from Flyball Paula's Better Than the Show. I watch MAFS mostly so I can keep up with Jason and Asia's discussions and sometimes arguments. They make the show fun, even when Jason negs on Asia and rolls his eyes at the Spice Girls.
What? Excuse me. First of all, I think we covered I don't neg Asia. Okay, we did that last season. All right.
Everybody say it together.
Right. We don't nag Asia.
Right.
Second of all, I love the Spice Girls. Okay. All right. They are my little nieces. They are like family to me. When I do get to meet them one day, it's on my bucket list to meet the Spice Girls. Not necessarily Asia, but the Spice Girls.
Right.
It's on my bucket list. And when I meet them, they'll be like my little dogs, my little nieces. So I love the Spice Girls. I've never rolled my eyes at the Spice Girls. Okay. I would
I'm
never.
gonna have to go back and look at the footage.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. We also got one from Bertha1201. Says Jason's creepy Pastor Cal is, I'm thinking everything it cut off. Not only is this the funniest and most relatable MAFS podcast, but it's also the most comprehensive. Asia and Jason's dynamic is irresistible, and it's the podcast I look forward to the most each week. Each week. Hashtag did you consummate the marriage? Hashtag creepy Pastor Cal.
But did you consummate the marriage, though? That's what I want to know. Did you do the thing or did you not do the thing? Okay. This must be
he's mad.
This must be Cal's most hated season ever.
He's like, no one's doing it.
I don't know. Nicole and Chris are probably doing it by this point. We're definitely doing it by this point last season.
Have we had no couples this long make it to the 1 month?
Without banging it out?
Sure.
I don't think so. I don't know. Someone's going to correct us, but I can't really rack my brain right now to think of it.
I know it's hard because I'm thinking like even San Diego, but Stasha and Nate were.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
They were hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So reviews. I forgot where we were for a second. I was thinking about my creepy Pastor Cal stuff. What I want to do is from R. Klaus Mickey. It's called Fun Recap and Discussion. I've enjoyed this podcast for a few years. I don't know how many other people who watch this show. I don't know many other people who watch the show, but listening to Asia and Jason fill that void. I probably wouldn't watch it anymore without the podcast. Jason's impressions are hysterical. Thank you so much. Asia and Jason are the perfect match.
Let's not interrupt the review reading.
I can appreciate the compliments. Okay, I can appreciate the compliments. Okay. Oh, got a long one here. Next one is from DigiCho. It's called One of My Favorite Podcasts. I've been listening to this podcast for a while now, and it just keeps getting better and better. The interactions between the co-hosts is just really great and really makes you feel like you're hanging out with some friends talking about a show you enjoy. I had lost interest in MAFS last season, so I stopped watching the show partway through. But because I love this podcast so much, I just kept listening to it, and they do an incredible job of recapping and reenacting each episode. I hate to say that you don't need to watch the show at all, but honestly, this podcast is so good that you don't really need to. I've been watching the show this season and it still has my interest for now, but I know if I can't handle the show again, then I can at least rely on the podcast to tell me what happened and give me a lot of really good laughs. Thank you so much, DigiCho. We really appreciate that glowing review. And yes, it's true. Many people don't watch the show anymore. They just listen and watch us. We really appreciate those people that stick with us and, can live through us vicariously. But we do the work so you don't have to, right? Especially with an episode like this. Okay.
We're doing the Lord's work.
Yes. Oh,
let me not.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
That is a touchy subject for this podcast.
It definitely is.
So also go join. Yes. So thank y'all so much for those. We are going to continue to shout out the reviews this season. Make sure y'all go join our Facebook group. You can find us at A Perfect Match Podcast. This week, the password is
Gucci. Such a good boy, Gucci. I love you so much, Gucci.
The only time.
I have so many emotions about you, Gucci. I can explain them all. I can describe all of my emotions for you, Gucci.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I realize I have emotions.
I have no problem displaying my affection to you, Gucci.
The first time we can see Brennan's teeth.
Yeah.
My goodness. But yes, so go join us and have some fun with us in the Facebook group. So we haven't talked to y'all since Christmas or New Year. I know. And of course, as good co-hosts would do, we had our Christmas presents.
a Christmas tradition that started last year that
Right.
that I forgot about until Aysha texted me my Christmas present. And then I returned the favor, of course.
So here is my gift to Jason.
Oh, oh no, poor Clint.
Oh no. What a
What did you do, Aysha?
that was there he goes.
You scared
That was
Clint away.
anticlimactic. Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. What is happening? Okay, there we go.
Hey, Jason. It's
Hey,
Clint.
Oh.
You know from where?
I
from
do.
MAFS.
Yes.
Nashville, season
Yes, I remember.
16.
Uh-huh.
Want to wish you a Merry Christmas
Thanks so much.
and a blessed New Year.
It's been
This
pretty blessed.
special message is coming to you from Aysha.
I know
I hear that you guys have had some guests on for my season, and
Yeah,
I didn't
couple.
get the cordial invite. I'm hoping in the new year, maybe I'll join y'all. How cool would that be? Anyhow,
Pretty cool.
I hope you have a great Merry Christmas.
I did.
Get out, go have fun, be jolly. I'll probably be on a boat. And sorry, I don't have a dog yet. I've got a wicked wild demon cat roaming around somewhere that was a rescue. So that's our first animal. But anyhow, that is the 411. I hope y'all have a merry, jolly Christmas. Coming from me to you, have a great Christmas and a merry, happy New Year.
Oh, thank you, Clint. So a lot of information there in Clint's cameo, right?
What'd you say?
A lot of information there in Clint's cameo.
Yes.
First of all, he has a cat and not a dog.
He does.
So score 1 for me, the cat guy.
I feel like everyone talks about their cats that way, though.
What way?
No one's like, "Oh, my cat's so cute and adorable and friendly."
My cat was cute and adorable and friendly. Okay, and I spoke about him that
called
way
him a
all the
demon
time.
cat.
He's a demon cat. Yeah. So Clint, who loved Gina's dog, now a cat guy. Cool. That's awesome. All right. But then to be like, oh, I hope you invite me on your show. Stop lying, Clint. You know, if we invited you, you would not come on the show. You know that you are not watching Married at First Sight anymore. Come on.
Wasn't he on the after party?
Yeah, but come on. He's watched some clips and was like, I'll talk about whatever clips you show me, sure.
Well, for those that don't know, that was Clint from last season.
Clint Webb.
And so now,
the G-Man himself.
Right, I will show y'all my gift from Jason. This one should play right away.
Merry Christmas from your girl Iris, from Iris to Aysha. My guy Jason hit me up, was like, you got to tell my girl, like, Aysha, it's Merry Christmas. And I was like, oh, of course, I will. Of course, y'all podcasts keep doing y'all thing, but regardless, it's a Merry Christmas today. So have a great rest of your year. Turn up, be blessed. Let 2024 be your greatest. And also, I have a little friend that wants to say hello to your favorite babies. So let's say hello to my little one, Corbin. Say hello to Aysha's babies, Pepper and Cinnamon. Let's say hello. Okay, he's just enjoying being scratched. But anyways, a Merry Christmas. Have a great one and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas from your girl.
Isn't that amazing?
It was amazing. I had to, I was looking through all the MAFS cameo people. I was like, too expensive. Like the nerve
Who
you
was
have.
charging too much?
The nerve you have to charge as much for you. Is what I was thinking. Like, you charging this much for you? For you? I'm not gonna say who, but for you're charging this much? You. And then I hit Iris. I said, oh, perfect. Aysha loves Iris, and she's reasonably priced.
That could have sounded.
Which would you have preferred, Iris or Keith? Because they both are available.
Iris for sure. 1,000. I liked Keith at the time.
Oh, what happened?
Well,
he was going out with some recording artist, right? Some lady.
Yes. Ari Lennox.
Right. So
and then as soon as they went public, they broke up. So
that turned you off of it?
Well, you know what happens. As soon as you go public, a woman comes to you, woman to woman, like, hey, I'm
You went, over,
assuming.
you went to Ari Lennox, was like, hey, did you know he was
No.
married before?
Right. She had no idea. No, it's just suspicious that they were together for a while before going public, and then they broke up after going public.
Wow. So you, with no information, you just
Yes.
decided that Keith did something wrong. And now you
Correct.
are off the Keith bandwagon. Okay. All right.
But I love Iris.
That's totally
Thank you so
rational
much.
and not crazy at all.
Isn't that how you form all your opinions about people?
I guess so. I guess that's the only way that people can really form opinions.
No, I mean Keith is fine. He's fine. But I love Iris. She
All right, so I made the right choice with Iris then.
Yes, because I was watching Falling for what's it called? Falling for Love.
Is that the one that Iris like cameoed in?
Yeah, she was in it,
randomly
like not just an extra. She had speaking lines.
She had a line and everything. She said at least 10 words.
Right. And it's funny because we watched as a family, and I forgot she was in it. And it was after I had gotten your cameo. And so I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, this is who I got the cameo from. And so I showed them.
I don't know if before I had gotten you that cameo, even though I have watched her season, I don't know if I would have seen Iris on TV and been like, that's Iris.
No, you would know.
I don't know.
You think you would have been like, oh,
I'm like, she looks familiar. Yeah, where do I know her from?
But yes, she's great. Congratulations, Iris, on your engagement. If you so happen to be listening,
Iris,
to our nonsense.
For finally getting it done, if you know what I mean.
Pastor Cal, please.
Good job.
Pastor Cal must be stopped.
Tell me everything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and last but not least, we just got some breaking news today.
Breaking news, breaking tea, breaking hot,
is it
scalding
though?
Tea.
It keeps happening.
It keeps happening for that our MAFS couples are getting divorced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, this couple breaking up.
Yes, but this is actually like we got some info from this.
Okay.
Couple. We know why they broke up. Before it was like vague. Yes. We didn't really know why they broke up or if they stayed broken up. But this seems real, and this seems hopefully permanent.
Yes. So we Katina, let's see if I can share this. Katina got on Instagram and shared a story. Is this it? Yes. Let's make sure. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. So she said, y'all, meet Olajuwon's shorty for years. Sis been holding him down since before the show. Wish the couple all love.
Now, before I saw wish the couple all the love, I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is Olajuwon's like sister or a very good friend. And Katina's like, hey, meet our really good friend. And then there's like wish the couple all the love. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
And then she says, he talked about me having a dating app, but was playing a stepfather behind the scenes to her daughter, sick Olajuwon.
Gasp. I said,
with a screenshot of the woman.
Gasp.
Then she said, now we know why I think she said homeboy was crying about cooking and cleaning, mad at himself because he was moving foul. Trust, I'm not looking for sympathy, but I'm going to be the life lesson for this man. Next woman you get with, act accordingly. And Victoria Pena, have fun being this man's last pick for the rest of your life.
I said, not the last pick for the rest of your life. I said, damn, she shut it down.
I can't. I just don't understand.
She said, you about to see the real Katina.
So this is Olajuwon and Katina from season 14?
14? Yes.
Is that Boston?
Sure. Why not?
Right. But yes, she says they're done for real now. So
hey, we've heard it before, Katina, but hopefully this one sticks.
Yes. Thank you to T for always giving us the tea.
Hey, that works. Yeah, I would be interested to see what he has to say if he makes any statement about this at all.
Doubt it. And his Instagram is private. He has thousands of followers. But
I'm sure you checked.
I was like, let me go see. There's a lot happening. There are a lot of breakups happening in 2024.
Yeah.
Rachel
Sure.
Lindsay. Okay. Let's get back on track.
Let's
talk about the show at
talk
hand.
about the show that we came here to talk about, the season we came here to talk about. Even
Right.
though we'd probably rather talk about other seasons and other things.
Yes.
Let's talk about this season.
Absolutely.
This season, what? This season is on crack. This season is on drugs. What is going on this season? What is happening?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know why it's such a disaster. I don't know why. Is it Denver?
Yeah, what's going on with y'all in Denver, man? What's in the water there?
It's
the
just
snow's melting in the water. Like, is that affecting the water? What's going on?
I used to watch MAFS to have a good time, chuckle, laugh at the
absurdity.
Yes. Now it's like, ooh, I need to go watch a comedy show or something.
Yeah.
Lighten the mood.
100%. 100%. This was definitely a downer episode, I think.
I'm like, let me turn on Bluey.
Yes.
Bluey and Bingo, they'd be funny. And the dad, oh.
cracking you up.
Just cracks me up. Okay, let's get started with
the no-nonsense mom.
Right.
The no-nonsense mom and the fun dad. What a dynamic.
She puts her foot down. So it's funny because when I leave the house and I leave the TV on for Pepper and Cinnamon, I'm like looking for which Bluey they could start with, and I'm like, oh, they've already seen this one a bunch of times.
Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes, Jason. Don't do it.
They worked through those 3 seasons multiple times.
Which one's our favorite?
I think personally, I think they like Keepy Uppy.
Any standout episodes?
Right. They for sure like when the Born Yesterday episode. Okay, we
you know the name
started.
of the episodes. I don't know what to say about it.
Oh my gosh, we've got to start. Okay,
Yes,
at 22 minutes.
Enough of the fat. Okay,
now let me start recording.
To the meat. Yeah, listen, we had a whole podcast before we came on this podcast. Okay, just so y'all know what the pre-show was like this time.
That was left on the cutting room floor. No, that just wasn't recorded. So let's start with Becca and Austin. Let me preface this by we know that this is a very touchy topic. I mean, what do they say? Yes, exactly. And what do they say at work? Don't talk about race, religion, or politics.
Yeah.
So we're just going to skip Becca and Austin for this week.
We've had race and religion already this season.
Yeah. Politics is all just on the horizon. Next week, Emily and Brennan.
Yep. I feel like that's the one too.
Right? Exactly. It's bound to happen.
I got a feeling I know where Brennan stands.
Right.
Just a hunch.
Right. So with Beck and Austin, it's supposed to be our one couple. It's supposed to be the couple that's like the okay, well, at least we could take a break with them. They start out.
Cole and Chris.
Yes. They start out in a very somber mood. She is crying in the confessional. She said that they were talking about religion and it didn't go well. Who told them to stop talking about religion? Was it Dr. Pia? Said, chill out.
Dr. Pia's wise wisdom she's given every couple on this show. Don't talk about the heavy stuff. Just have fun. That's been Dr. Pia's thing the whole season. Just have fun. Don't talk about the heavy stuff. Just have fun.
But they won't listen to the new girl.
What happened to the old iPhones? Like the iPhone 11, diary cams with the grainy footage. All these confessionals are so professional now. What happened to the big head? Like you don't know how to space the phone to your face, and we just see your big old face taking up the whole screen. Yeah. So yesterday, like there was a couple of times in this episode, I said, "Where's my poorly shot diary cam?"
Also, where are the cameras that are supposed to be planted in the apartments? Why do we have so much off-camera conversation?
What's up? Where is our fight when you forget that you have cameras in your apartment? Right? That's when we keep them. That's when we get them at their worst, is when they don't remember they're on camera.
Exactly.
We would get so much Brennan gold from these surveillance cams. We would maybe figure out what the heck is actually going on with Claire and Cameron if we had these Nest cams.
And nope, they said, nope, we don't have the budget for Nest this season. You
No,
take
not
what
doing
you get.
And
Okay.
be happy.
We're just going to talk about all these conversations after the fact. You imagine if we had known about all the conversations with Orion and Lauren.
That
Just
we was, imagine if we had seen the, tirade that Orion claims that Lauren went on at the honeymoon and all that stuff. Imagine. But no,
yes.
we didn't get
Okay. So I guess it's neither here nor there because we don't have it. So we have to go based off their words. But on After Party, Becca said that he was designing a hat.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Get my cosplay on. I mean, of all things, right?
Right.
Of all the cliche things that Austin could be doing, designing a hat. It doesn't get any better than that.
Just gold. He was designing a hat. And she said he made it. It was a religious hat because he was putting a cross on it. And so then they got into the topic of, did she say how they got in the topic of heaven or hell?
I don't remember where we got, how we got to this thing.
Right.
Where she basically tells him, well, at least you don't believe I'm going to hell, right? And basically he said, well,
that's what my church taught me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was raised, to think you're going to hell. What?
So
right.
Emily, she doesn't feel good by this comment.
You mean Becca?
I mean, Becca. Yes. I'm still confusing their names.
Gosh.
11 episodes in. No, Emily in the other apartment.
She heard it. She heard the whole thing and didn't feel good about it. That's how close. That's how close their apartments are.
Austin don't even talk, but when he talks,
He talk mess. Talk trash.
So okay. So they're afraid. We have a lot. This whole conversation, and we'll get our thoughts. They're FaceTiming Pastor Cal because they don't know what to do. He is in his office. He's not in a car. He wasn't in the middle of a golf round, however you say, a golf swing. What do you call it when they're like
a round of golf?
A round of golf. Yes. He wasn't in the middle of a round of golf. Okay.
just his back in the back of his backswing, like bring. Oh, damn it. he just misses the ball completely.
Right.
MAFS ruined another shot.
He's like, oh, this show. Like relatable. So he's in his office. Okay. So she said that they talked about heaven and hell, and he was being very loving and comforting. But he said if she does die and go to hell, he can still love her. This is
sorry. This is just
he
ridiculous.
can still love her the same way in this lifetime. And she's crying. And she said, and Pastor Cal's like, okay, how did that make you feel? And she said it makes her feel less than because she doesn't think that she's going to hell. And the reason I'm crying is I'm imagining Pastor Cal's face. His face the entire time was like, okay, this is what y'all are talking about.
This is a real conversation. This isn't a conversation like a joke conversation. This is real. Y'all aren't poking me right now. Like, this is the conversation y'all are having.
I was like, Pastor Cal, take them seriously, please. And so he asked her. So she says it makes her feel really sad and really hurt. And so Pastor Cal's like, okay, do you believe in hell? She was like, well, being agnostic, like, I think that anybody could be right. Like, I don't, I like not knowing. I believe that, there could be one, there couldn't be one, or this person is right or this person be right. And Pastor Cal he's doing a little smiling. He's like, well, I'm glad that y'all are talking to me about this. He said, none of us have left this life and came back to be able to say what happens. And Becca's like, but this is what his church has taught him. And then Austin, who hasn't said a word up to this point, which I was thinking, like, wouldn't you try to be like, I guess that puts us in the position that we are in now. When
she says he thinks I'm going to hell, he's not like, no, that's not what I said. Like, that's not what I meant. He's
didn't
like,
say a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how the conversation went.
Mm-hmm. She's totally right.
so she's like, but his church taught him that. And he's like, he says, well, my church is accepting of like gay people, anything.
Like we'll let you come to the church service and sit in the sanctuary, sit in the pews, but just know you're going to hell. Like we'll let you come and worship with us, but know you're going to hell. Like we're fine with you. We're fine with you heathens that are going to hell later coming and joining us, but just know you're going to hell later though. Got it?
It's like, Austin, you want to contribute to this conversation and this is the first thing you say? What are you thinking? I feel
Aysha Welch speechless, everyone. I didn't think we'd ever get to this moment.
It was like he said so much by saying so little.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So he says, okay, so he says that, and she says, but you believe like if you don't accept Jesus, you go to hell. And Pastor Carol says there are people that accept Jesus, but are doing a whole lot of other stuff that will keep them from heaven. He said accepting Jesus is one thing, and accepting the principles of Jesus is another thing, and that's open to everybody. He's like, do you think that if you're born in Afghanistan and you have never been exposed to Jesus or the teachings and you never accept Jesus in your life, do you think you're going to hell? And Austin's like, that's not what I believe. And Pastor Cal said, well, me neither. If I was Pastor Cal, I would have said, then why are we having this conversation?
Then what are we talking about?
And so then Austin says, I'm always open to hearing new theories. Like I'm somewhat agnostic in that, like all like Christian, Judaism, Islam, they could all be the same thing. Like none of that affects how I care about Becca.
But for the record, presently, right now, I do think she's going to hell.
Just ridiculous. And then Pastor Carol was like, okay, she is your match. Okay. He said, the only reason y'all are showing this emotion right now is because of the deep passion and love you have for each other. And then Becca, Austin accidentally told me he loved me the other night.
The vibe switch was just...
It was at the drop of a hat. Okay. All puns intended. And so then Pastor Cal says most people, I mean, Austin's like, you know, and so then Pastor Cal, most people are in love long before they can recognize it. And so it turns to this brief thing of like, y'all are in love.
If you made a Pastor Cal doll and it was one of those ones where you pulled the string, that's one of his sayings, along with, did you consummate your marriage yet? That's one of his phrases. You know, people know they're in love long before they say it. That's one of his things. Every season we hear this from Pastor Cal.
Pull the string. Marriage is hard. Marriage is not for punks.
Marriage not for punks.
So this was a very interesting conversation because I think it really highlighted. And I like
the first one. Highlighted
that Austin believes that, or he doesn't. Not it's hard. He believes it, but he doesn't know why he believes it.
Yes, he didn't come right out and say you're going to hell, but he didn't really deny it when she said that's what you think. Yeah, he's like, well, that's how I was raised. So, and you know, of course, disclaimer: this is our opinion. This, you know, it's no one's right, no one's wrong. This is just what two dumb podcasters think on a podcast. Okay.
Did you just call us dumb?
I did. We're dumb sometimes. But it just, to me, it just smacks of an immaturity of Austin to have this kind of singular, binary, black and white thought of things. Like, listen, if you don't accept Jesus, you're just going to hell. That's it. It's almost like he never got past, you know, the first week of kids Sunday school, right? Like it's just a
He
very
just kept
narrow
going
view.
back to the room with the 5-year-old, and they're like, Austin, you're 12. He's like, I still got to finish my coloring book.
He doesn't want to leave the kids group, but it's just so narrow and singular, and kind of privileged is what my wife called it, privileged. I said I could definitely see that. I can see where you have this one thought, and that thought is what you believe is the right thought, which is religion in a nutshell, right? Your religion is what you believe, but to come at it in such a way where you're going to tell your wife, yeah, you're probably going to hell, is weird to me. It's odd. And I think a lot of people in the Facebook group really pushed against the fact that she took it so personally, took it so terribly. I think a lot of people were saying, well, why is she so bent out of shape with something she doesn't even believe in? I think it's just the fact that this man that she's married to.
Someone in the Facebook group. Let me stop you right there, Jason, because someone in the Facebook group said it's kind of like a holier than thou thing.
Wow, that person sounds extremely smart. I bet he's also extremely handsome, extremely funny. Sounds a little bit like Barack Obama, says some people. But yes, I did say that in the Facebook group. Literally holier than thou attitude from Austin here. Just to be like, yeah, you're going to hell, and I'm okay with that. Like, and as he said, like, yeah, I'm good when we both die. I assume we're going to be together. When you die, you're going to hell. When I die, I'm going to heaven. That's cool.
Yeah, it's the reason it's like it feels so immature is because he's not even taking into consideration how him saying this is going to make her feel, or he's not reflecting on why he feels this way. It's just, whoop, I was told this and I'm repeating it back. Take it as you will. Oh, well, yeah, I can't change it.
But I think unfortunately Austin's view is a view of a lot of people. There's people that are taught their religion, and that's what they believe for their whole lives, because that's just what they were taught when they were little children. And a lot of people don't really think further than what they were taught. They don't think further than, well, if you don't believe in God, then you're just going to hell. Like, that's just it. Like, it's done. There's no other thought to it. There's no other thought process. I think Becca's thing is, even though she may not believe in the heaven and hell concept, is that, no, you, Austin, think that I'm going to hell, where in your opinion and in your religion is where the bad people go. You think I'm a bad person, I'm going to the bad person place. So I think that's where she's really coming up against it.
Yeah. And for him to say, oh, maybe I am a little bit agnostic in that blah, 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 blah. Then why are we having a conversation about your strong Christian values if you also are seeing yourself as a little bit agnostic? Like, if Becca's saying she's agnostic, then why aren't y'all having more open-minded conversations in terms of like, okay, this is what I believe, but let's see. Okay, and this is what you believe, and then let's try to see how that matches up, or how does that work together. But if you're you can't. It's like he's standing on. Well, it's not even standing on two sides of the fence. It's like he doesn't know where he is, and for them to be having such an important conversation about this, I don't think he's ready for that. Which he kind of said in the beginning, like he wasn't ready to talk about religion, and this could be why. Like, he doesn't know how he feels about these things.
And he's someone that doesn't feel like he's ever been challenged, right? On that topic specifically.
That's every man this season.
Yeah. He's never been challenged on his views in this way, and it's really taken him aback. And he's like, huh. Like, when Cal talks about the whole like Afghanistan thing, he's like, huh, I never really thought about it that way. That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
Wait, there are more people in the world than in the U.S.
that believe differently than I do, that have never even heard of our Lord and Savior? What? Like, he is taken aback by this concept.
He's like, this is going to take more than 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna need about 6 months on this to sit on that.
Is blown. So it's a heavy topic. It's a heavy thing to talk about, and of course, Pastor Cal is getting his pastor card revoked again this season because he talks about the fact that, you don't think people in Afghanistan, are going to heaven because they don't think about Jesus? And people will be like, you're a pastor. You're not supposed to say things like that. You're supposed to say Jesus' love is the best kind of love. And yes, Becca, you are going to hell because you don't believe in Jesus. Like, that's what they really want him to say. But I mean, I think Cal came at it in a very logical and very, I don't know, common sense way. To me. Like, that's how I felt about it.
And I feel like if you are someone that's going to be open to, like, if Austin was in a place where he could have only seen himself, or it would only make sense for him to be with another Christian, he should have said that. Why are you opening yourself to, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, if you're going to say it doesn't matter and you could be open to dating someone of any belief, you need to be open to any belief. Like, I don't understand.
Maybe that's just his single-mindedness. He's like, of course, there's no one else that's doing this that's going to be a non-Christian, right? Like, that would be crazy. But no, there are other people in the world, Austin. You're not going to get automatically paired with a Christian. I don't know what he was thinking.
And maybe he has this idea that, like, if you aren't religious, like, he's thinking, like, okay, if you aren't religious, then you just don't care about the belief. Like, I could believe what I want, and then you don't believe, so you don't care at all. So the fact that Becca does genuinely care that he has this view, he's like, he doesn't understand it because he's like, he doesn't know what to do.
What's the big deal, girl? You're just going to hell. It's all right. No big. I'm still down to rock with you. You're just going to hell later.
So we get this aftermath. He says, "How was that for you? Like, I could feel that there was more you wanted to get out." And she said, like, if you do think that I'm going to hell, this won't work for me. He's like, I don't know what I think. I don't have an answer for you right now. And she's like, well, like, it is really a priority for me. And so I would really like it to be a priority for you. And he's like, it is a priority for me. She's like, well, in the past 4 weeks, you haven't talked to anybody about religion. He was like, when would I find the time? And she said, fine. If you don't want to find the time, then that's fine. And he says, I am making a priority. It never hasn't been a priority for me. And she just, like, lays in his shoulder.
I guess I'm just confused of what they want to happen here. What does Becca want to happen? What does Becca want Austin to do? Does she want him to talk to more religious leaders, more religious experts to get a better sense of things? Is that what she's asking for here? I don't understand what she wants.
I don't think this. So what I think is that it has been said. The water has left the fire hydrant, right? Mm-hmm. He has said it, which means that is what he believes. Whether he knows why he believes it or not, that's what he believes. And now that's a concern for her. And there's nothing he can do at this moment. That is his belief. And I think for her, it's like, okay, if, like, we need to get it, like, that hurts me that you believe that. So we just, like, for her, it could be relationship ending, because that's a big deal for her. She can't walk around knowing that he has this belief, like, we're together now, but not for eternity. So it's like, she needs him to understand that this is a big deal for her. And she thinks that he's downplaying it. It like, for her to say that he's not treating it as a priority is because he's treating it so nonchalantly. Like, yeah, that's it. Whereas she has cried about it at this point, this episode, multiple times. And so that he's not making a priority in her mind because he's not understanding the gravity of this issue. Like, it's, for him, it's just like, that is a big issue for us. And, I don't know what to do. I can't tell you. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. Where she's like, well, and it's not like he can just automatically know what he believes, but I think that she just needs him to identify that this is a big issue. And I don't think anyone has the answers for what he could do. Like, talking to Lindsay, that's not the answer.
No.
Talking to her friend Lindsay this episode was not the answer. Like a like a fixer situation, whatever.
But if he comes to her next week, is like, I thought about it. You're not going to hell. That was silly of me to say. Is everything water under the bridge now? And he's just like, well, for real, I still think you're going to hell. Like in his mind, like I still think you're probably going to hell though.
It's so not black and white. I think that she just wants him to stand on business.
Stand on business.
She wants him to I know that this is probably so confusing for her because he just doesn't have any. He's just like that's it. That's what I've been told. That's it. Whereas like I think she just wants him to have a more productive conversation, get more on the same page of like, what does this look like moving forward? Because like how do you get past somebody having this holier than thou mindset?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, it manifests itself in this way at this time. But what other thing is going to happen later in their relationship, later in life, that this division on religion, what else is that going to affect down the line?
Yeah.
How are they going to talk to their kids about religion? I think is very important. Like this is also gonna be like, well, kids, you and me, we're going up there. Mommy, she's going to the no place. She's going to the bad place with the bad men and the bad women. She didn't do anything bad. She's just going down there because she doesn't believe in big G-O-D.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, I do think this manifests itself in way more areas than just this simple statement. So I think that's why it's so big to her. And for him, he's just like, yeah, that's what I said. I can't change anything about it now. So what do you want me to do? Well, I just need you to care that this is an issue. And you're not showing that you do. So
yeah, he just has this Austin look like, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, I don't know. Right and I know it's hard because it's like, okay, well, how does he show that he cares? I don't know. She only she would know. That's their relationship, right? Like only she, when somebody is making something a priority. Like, if he's rushing home on a Sunday for a game, like he has made football a priority. Like, it's not, she's not going to have to guess if this is important to him.
Right. I just question, how does he show that? Like in action? Like when she comes home and he's like deep in his Bible, he's like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Like I'm working on it, babe. I'm working on it. Trust me.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I'll search the text for a loophole that tells me that you can join me in heavenly.
Because I'm sure that's what he's thinking. He's thinking it's like, okay, she just doesn't want me to believe that anymore. But there's not a flip of a switch.
I wonder if this is like we saw in the More to Come last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Her crying.
Like you're putting words, or like I can't think for myself or something.
Oh,
like you're putting words in my mouth, or you're telling me I can't think for myself. So I'm wondering if he's
act like you can.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's like fed up with her like constant. Are you going to think about it? Are you thinking about the religion thing? I'm wondering if that's what that spawns from. But
I mean, it also like we hear it from Emily at the dinner later, is like Austin doesn't have much to say, but even he's opening up. I feel like if she's trying to have these productive conversations with him and he's not, I mean, he's saying more than Brennan, but if he's not going into depth about his emotions and in depth about how he feels about things, or his beliefs about things, then she's trying to fill in these gaps, right? But like, okay, so are you saying this? I mean, even this whole conversation sparked from her saying, you don't think I'm going to hell, right? Like, she said that.
Yeah,
so it was, that's like pulling teeth. So anyway, they celebrate their 1 month.
Moving on.
They celebrate their 1 month. They're watching their wedding video on the laptop. They had the TV right there. Why couldn't they airplay it?
Who knows?
So maybe they tried and there was glare or something. She says, "Oh, you're so cute." And she said their first kiss looked like they've done it 55 times, and they're just so. She's like, "I'm so happy it's you." He's like, "I'm so happy it's you."
So schmoopy.
Yeah. So they still have these lovey-dovey moments with this one big issue. So they go ice skating. She's using like the little handles to keep herself up.
I call it an ice walker.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. He's in a confessional. He says they've built this foundation that makes them makes them feel very safe going into the big topics. They sit down, they roast some marshmallows. She's like, "Oh my gosh.
Hey, that marshmallow, that's like you. You're going to be in the fires of hell." That's you right there.
Oh my gosh. I was
What
not
if you just
expecting that.
what if he just kept saying things like that? Like he just kept reminding her like he kisses her, he's like, like, yeah, you're going to hell, right? You still know that, right? Okay, cool.
She would be so done with him.
She would be devastated and done.
Who was it that kept thinking their husband joked too much? Shaq and Kirsten. Remember she said Shaq
Joke too much.
yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm like, more pleasant times. I mean, even if that season, like they didn't all end up together, it wasn't like this.
Remember when our biggest problem was that she didn't like his bald head? Remember those good old days?
Oh, those are the simple times. He tells her he didn't really know what marriage would be like, and it's been amazing, and he's loved doing it with her, and he feels like the trust that they are building trust with each other more and more every day. And she said in past relationships, like the guys that I've been with have just gone with whatever I wanted. So like I prefer how you are with religion, like rather than just compromising on who you are, just to make us work. You're sticking to what you believe. And he's like, I promise to stick with you through thick and thin
Heaven and
on this
hell.
earth.
Thick and thin, heaven and hell.
She says she's excited to celebrate every single month from here on out. And so they joke, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, I love liking you. She's like, oh, I love that.
Oh.
So now Austin is trying to take some action. And so he FaceTimes her friend, Lindsay. This is her friend. And so he's like, yeah, so religion has been an issue in the marriage. Like we share values, but it wasn't until they discussed the afterlife that it became an issue. And he's like, you're Catholic, right?
You're a Catholic, aren't you? You're
like,
a believer. You're a believer, right?
He's like, how do you deal with this?
My sister in Christ.
Right. He asked her where she like stands with the afterlife. She's like, she doesn't know if she believes in hell. She more so believes that like if you die, like you'll be close to God, but if you like maybe if you don't believe or you don't or you don't live like a good life or along the like with the values, you'll be more separated from God. So not necessarily in hell, but you'll be like it sounded like purgatory.
Yeah, but this illustrates the topic, right? None of us know what the heck we're talking about. None of us understands what the afterlife is. We all have our own views and opinions. And this lady's like, well, it's not necessarily a hell. It's more of like an under heaven. It's like a level. It's like a level under heaven, right? You're not. It's like VIP and general admission. Like you don't get to see the big boss on the stage, but you're like right under. Like you can see it on the jumbotron, but you're not up close and personal with the big God. Like so, it's kind of like that, right? But I think she was like, but if you kill people, like then you're going to hell. Like she I don't think she understood either what she was talking about.
Yeah,
she's like,
all over the place.
I'd be like, why are you asking me about this? I'm just Lindsay. Like,
don't you have a pastor who's an expert?
Right. Why am I in the hot seat here? And I don't know what Lindsay was doing while this video call was going on, but she kept looking back and forth. Like, I don't know if she was checking herself out in the camera shot of herself. She's like, make sure I'm good because I know
I am
I'm
on
good.
camera.
Am I all right? Or she's looking at a producer or something. But she kept eyeing different spots of the monitor. I was like, I'm getting distracted now. Like she's just going back and forth.
Yeah, dummy. So
he's like, you're a Catholic. How do you deal with your heathen of a friend, Becca? This non-believer.
They talk about like they're talking about growth, and she's like, well, it's possible for you to grow just as much as her. He's like, yeah, she's not the type of thing that flips in a day or a night.
I didn't really understand this because she was like,
neither.
she's looking to grow to your side. And he's like, really? Like he gets excited by that concept of like, I don't know if he thinks that she's saying, well, she's actually going to believe in God for you now, so she's going to be on your side. He's like, oh, cool. But then he just is spouting the same thing. He's like, yeah, my views are open. I'm open to changing my mind. Again, just kind of how old is Austin? I think he's got to be at least 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they're 30 and 31.
Yeah, so to be that open is interesting at 30. Like you think by 30, you're pretty concrete in your opinions. But I think it's again just shows that he's never really been challenged in his beliefs before. He's really
Right.
surrounded himself probably with like-minded. Well, that's not even true because his friend did say that
He said they've
he's
never
atheist.
talked about religion.
Yeah, his friend claims to be an atheist. So but he says they never talked about it. So maybe he's just never talked about it in a real way to challenge his views, and this is the first time that he's really had to think about his beliefs, which
This is
is
wild. How do you sign up for this show? I mean, I feel like anyone who is a believer in any faith, if that is important to you and you are choosing to spend your life with someone and you want to have kids too,
Yeah.
don't you think about that downstream effect? Like, okay, if it doesn't matter to you and you're open to that, then that's great. That doesn't feel like that's the way Austin has been through these conversations. It doesn't sound like that's Austin. It sounds like okay, like it kind of feels like he thinks he's settling
Mhm.
and it's okay for him to have his beliefs because those are his beliefs, and so she shouldn't really care. But it's like, no, I think if it is important to you, then you should have made that a priority in what you're looking for, because obviously, I think it's obvious he would want to raise his kids that way.
Yeah, I think so. I like you said, I don't know why you don't think about these things when you're filling out these applications and you're listing your non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would I would go through all scenarios. Like, what would happen if I was this with this type person? This type person. This is what I want. This is not what I want.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, and it might also go back to the whole, MAFS is recruiting a lot of the men, and maybe they're not as thorough as they need to be. Like, you want to get married at first sight? Come on, we're desperate. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so he puts on a green shirt and they're like getting ready. They're just like in the bathroom. It's a very random scene. She's like, "Oh, I really like this shirt with your eyes." She's like, "How was your talk with Lindsay?" He said, "Went really well. We talked about life, love, faith, religion." She said, "I'm really happy you did that."
Thank you.
I guess they needed a debrief from that conversation. They couldn't go.
I mean, is this part of what she wants him to do? Was this her request that he meet with Lindsay? Is this part of him showing that he's making this a priority? Is that what that means to her?
Maybe this is him trying.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I think effort hasn't been the issue. I think it's more of a foundational thing. Like, is this something that we can move past? I mean, just like Virginia seasons ago, she should have made that clear that I want somebody with the same political preference because I'm going to have an issue if they don't.
Yeah.
So, okay. So they go to the group dinner. Austin is informing people about cheese boards versus charcuterie boards.
Austin, first of all, no hat. Okay, that's big. That's huge. And his
You
hair
like that look?
wasn't a holy mess. For
Mhm.
once without his hat. Because usually when he doesn't have his hat on, we're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
See, like he actually styled his hair and then didn't put a hat on it on the way to the restaurant or whatever. He seems like he went out of his house with no hat on for probably the first time in many years.
Yeah. Yeah. He he put in way more effort than Brennan.
Oh, totally.
So Becca asked, like, "Oh, what advice would you give to your old self?" He says, like, "Oh, I would, or like, what advice would you give to yourself going into this process?" And he's like, get more in touch with his emotional side. Becca says that there's been some hard things they've dealt with, and Austin says, out of nowhere, Brennan, but y'all have gotten through them, or like y'all gotten past that.
Shut
And
up,
then,
Brennan.
right? And Austin's like, "Well, we're working through them, and we have some deep stuff that we're working through."
That's how annoyed we are with Brennan. He didn't say anything. You're like, shut up, Brennan.
Right. So that's pretty much it for them. I mean, it was a big episode for them because we kind of getting more to the root of why this is an issue for them, because we kept thinking like, well, what is it? Like, I mean, and it's not necessarily as simple as he said that he thinks she's going to go to hell. It's more so the impact of their beliefs on their relationship, because he's more so oh, you're agnostic, that's cool, that's fine, but not really diving. Like, I don't even think she would have reacted that strongly to that statement if he had been equally as interested in her beliefs as she is about his.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
I mean,
can see that.
I mean, based on what we've seen, we haven't seen any just like, oh, I want to know, okay, what makes you believe this? Like, what have you experienced in your past to think like, oh, I've never met a Christian who hasn't tried to change my mind, you know? Like what situations have you had? But
I mean, Becca's been pretty open with, talking about the fact that, people, I think she even said people have told her she's going to hell because of her beliefs. So I think that's a trigger for her.
we didn't
Um,
know it was gonna be her husband.
Man, okay. So that's a trigger for her already. So for that to happen, we can't be surprised that this was the reaction that he got.
Yeah.
Mess.
Yeah. But yeah, next week we see Austin and he's gonna like seeing Becca with children. That's about it.
Yeah, what about our ratings?
Yeah, so scale of 1 to 5, one being we don't think they'll be together by decision day or by the reunion. 5 being we think they definitely will be together by the reunion. Ugh. We were at a 4 last week, both of us.
I'm gonna up them to a 5. No, man, I think with Austin's willingness to do whatever,
I
think I'm gonna leave him at a 4.
Okay.
I still think they can get past this. I still have belief that they will be our couple of the year of the season. They don't have a lot of competition, of course.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna make it through. More than likely make it through to Happily Ever After or whatever.
The competition is stiff. I'll maintain my 4 as well, only because I feel like they have built enough of a foundation to where it's not going to be easy. Like on the count of 3 at this table, let's break up. Like I think it's going to be a bigger deal if they decide to try to end it because they do really like each other. Like I think it's going to be a challenge. I think there's something that they will have to work through. They can't just keep brushing it aside, but I think they can make it work.
Yeah. So we're still hopeful.
Yeah. All right, who you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about the singular person, Michael. No, and just Michael.
Michael? Why were we talking about Michael?
Michael's back, everyone.
Woo,
We gotta open the episode weirdly with this random, not random, but with this meeting of the experts together. We're like, oh, what's going on here? And they're it's almost in the middle of this meeting. It feels like we just walked into this meeting, and Pepper's like, yeah, we're meeting to talk about the debacle of Michael's wedding and what happened. Pepper says, this is an emotional disaster, and she wants to see what Michael's thinking and feeling, and if she had any inkling that this would happen, she never would have matched them. They're all really just like shocked and in disbelief that this has happened. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this woman did this to us. Like they almost act like that she did it to them. Like she broke our hearts. How dare she? Cal talks about, he was so classy throughout it all. He gives him a ton of credit for being such a gentleman. Michael enters and has his crown on. I said, okay, Mike. All right. It was cute the first time, but now it's getting old. He has his crown on. He gives all the experts hugs. He says he embraces the crown. He loves the crown. It's a great gift. So he's embracing it. He's keeping it. He's wearing it. So Pepper does apologize to him and says, we're so sorry. He says, we thought we picked the right person for you. She seemed excited at the time, and we didn't pick up on any misgivings on her part. Mike says,
she seemed great. She lied to us.
Yeah. Mike says, he didn't foresee any of that happening. And in the moment, seeing her vulnerable like that made him put aside his anger in the moment. But he was definitely upset later and wondered if she saw him prior to the altar and decided not to go through with it. It made him wonder why the woman handpicked for him wouldn't want to do this with him. What do you think of that theory that she pulled a Karen and saw his Instagram or something before the marriage?
I don't think so. Like I think we've seen a variety of people on this show. And I think if we had to do a looks ranking, we wouldn't have Michael at the bottom.
All right, do it. What's your looks ranking? We're not gonna do it.
Absolutely
We're not gonna do
not.
that. I mean, you do have your top 5 men of MAFS, so I mean, I don't know. Does he even get close to the top 5?
Top 5. I'm sorry.
No.
Because I'm trying to think how many husbands are we even working with? But
I don't know. Well, I'm not doing that math right now.
okay.
So Pepper says, we match everyone to have them fall in love over time. And she really kind of took that option away by, abandoning it before it even started. Cal asks, so how did this affect your view of marriage? Michael says, it hasn't really affected it at all. I still have a positive outlook on the concept of marriage and, and all that. Cal says, oh, very impressed. Thought they are really just lavishing praise on Michael. This whole episode is like, boy, you really took that great. The fact that you could haul off and slap her, I really just I love that for you. They're just heaping him with praise.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper tells him, listen, there's been talk of matching you with someone else from a pool of applicants we didn't consider. I said, hold on. You had a whole other pool of just
throwaways.
Applicants that you just didn't even care to look at.
They just threw away those applications.
The show really wants us to think that these experts have exhausted all options. But they're just like, yeah, we just had these ones just sitting around that we didn't get a chance to look at. So maybe there's something in there, Michael. I don't know. Maybe we'll check it out. But
they want us to believe they looked through every possible man for Lauren.
Yeah, that's as they want us to feel. And, they say, well, maybe we can find someone in that pool of applicants. Now, I did wonder, so you guys didn't have a runner-up for Michael's affections? I know that you want us to think from the matchmaking special that you had such a hard time matching Michael from the, re-edited, re-recorded false lines that y'all put in the matchmaking special. Like, we need to find the one special lady for Michael. There's no one else for him. We got to find the one person. We're having a hard time matching him. But I think in the reality, there's probably a runner-up they could have put him with.
They probably really like the girl.
Probably.
They couldn't even talk about that.
This whole pool of applicants that maybe we'll check into, I think is a bunch of baloney. Who knows? He says, throughout this, he's discovered things about himself and that he realized even more that he is ready for marriage. So yes, he would, consider the possibility of being matched again. Cal says, so going through all this, what kind of woman are you looking for? I'd be like, can't y'all just use my answers from last time?
Didn't I sit in hours of interviews with y'all already?
Right. What
you think it's changed? I haven't been in a relationship since.
Oh yeah, let me add someone that won't ditch me at the altar. How about that?
Right.
Someone that wouldn't do that to another person. So he's, he says, I don't know, intelligent, witty, invested in themselves, and someone kind of silly, because I'm kind of silly myself. Yes, Michael, we saw you on After Party. We know. He says, but he does need someone that has a sweet nature, but has that innate silliness inside of them. Cal says, we are absolutely convinced that we chose the right man in choosing you. You are a king. Okay, Cal. All right.
He said, I'm going to gas you up.
Yeah, they really are. They are just pouring gas in that gas tank.
Right.
Please don't sue us, Michael.
We're so sorry.
So sorry. Pepper says, listen, we hope we can find you the right person. Cal says, we're going to put our nose to the grindstone to find someone just for you. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the experts were kind of on their hands and knees like, please forgive us. Please. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. Oh, so sorry. They really were apologetic.
Like, don't be mad at us.
Like, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean this to happen. But we then get a scene with Michael meeting with his friends over lunch. He talks about his meeting with the experts, says, they kind of actually really took accountability and they were empathetic, and tells them that about the offer to rematch him. One of his friends says, you put your trust in them once already and it didn't work out. So that diminishes her trust in the process. She says there should be some changes to the process that matched you in the first place. But if he feels he hears the changes that will get him successfully matched, maybe, that they will be there for him. I said, preach it, girl, preach it. Tell them they need to change their process. I'm honestly a little surprised that MAFS let that stay into the edit. Yes, you need to change your ways, MAFS.
Yeah. Austin from afar. Preach it.
Yeah. Brennan, I know that's right. Orion, no black chicks.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Oh, Jason, you need a timeout for that one.
Time out. I didn't say it. Orion did.
Uh,
Okay. So the lady, the friend is skeptical. She's like, I don't know about all this. Michael says, when I think of the possibilities of being rematched, it's like having that muscle memory of doing it all the first time, all over again. One of his friends says, well, listen, if you suspect it's going to happen again, maybe you should be the one to run this time. He has on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable would you be with me doing this again? One friend says 4, another friend's like, I say a 7 because I have faith in you to know what's right for you. And then
he knew that at the beginning too.
Right. He had trust in himself before and it didn't work out. And then wouldn't you know it, Dr. Pepper, that rascal, she pops up out of nowhere.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, Michael's like, listen, Paige, my friend here, had some good points and talks about, the questioning of the methodology of rematching him. Paige then says, the day after Michael, got ditched at the altar, he said it was the biggest failure of his life. And she does not want him to feel that way again because none of that was in his control. But
Who
she doesn't
said
want
you said that?
I think that was his other friend. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
You said that? Oh my gosh. I wish they would have just edited that part out. I don't know why they left that in.
Right.
Pepper kind of dodging the question here. Because the question is basically like, how are you going to change your criteria, your methodology of matching people? She's like, well, we admire Michael so much for how he handles it. It's like, oh, no, you didn't answer my question. I asked you a specific question. So she says, listen, we're going to dig back in and find someone else and go through all of his new criteria of silly, nice, and witty, I guess. And go and find someone for him if he wants to do it again. Michael says, although I did make peace with the fact this might not be for him. Dramatic cliffhanger. Yes. I am ready to do this all over again. Yay! Yeah, we're getting rematched. Pepper says, well, this time I can tell you that you're going to be married, but you're going to be married in less than 2 weeks. I said, okay. How less than 2 weeks?
Right. Like tomorrow?
Like 2 days? What's up? Michael says he appreciates the opportunity, and Pepper thanks him for being so resilient and good-natured through all this. They pop the bubbly and celebrate. In a confessional, Michael says he's excited to do this again and get this unique, opportunity. And they cheers to a happy, successful, long marriage.
I don't know. This feels like the toxic ex who's asking for another chance. Like, come on, I won't do it again.
And like, did y'all
changed?
We waited a month to come check on Michael. Like, hey, Michael, we're so sorry. We're just gonna leave him to his grief for now. And the fact that we have so much trouble in paradise now, is like, maybe we should just circle back around to Mike because we're gonna need some content for this season because
right.
we're running low on participants.
They're like Cameron and Claire looking like they are about to what?
The ship is sinking. The ship is sinking.
They're like, okay, we can't get Lauren and Orion back together. Call Michael.
What was the name of that guy? That guy the other guy we had, and then he what happened? He got left at the altar. What was the name of that guy? Michael, call that guy. Call him. We can get him back. We already vetted him. He's good to go. So we just gotta find a lady now. So who knows? Yeah. I don't know. We saw the woman who the name is Chloe. We got the image of her preseason, and a lot of people were coming after her because they thought that she was the original woman, but no, she is the rematched woman.
Exactly.
MAFS was not letting that picture of that woman get out anywhere, so that was definitely not her.
We still don't know. Will we ever know?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm waiting any moment now for the breaking news of the lawsuit that this person is bringing against MAFS or whatever.
Yeah. If
I don't
this
know.
show was on Netflix, her picture would have been floating around by now.
Yes, for sure. And this is honestly in the international versions of Married at First Sight, they do have other couples come in midway through the process
Mm-hmm.
and get married and all that stuff. So I mean, this could work. Who knows? I'm curious to know what the journey will be. Are we going to get, our month left of them and then do like a special? Are we going to pick them up in the Where Are They Now special? Like what are we going to do here? Are they going to get a decision day?
Are they
What's
gonna
up?
have a honeymoon?
Good questions all.
I don't know.
So, Michael, what are we rating Michael?
We're not rating Michael. We don't know anything about Chloe yet.
Yeah. So she
Give us
seems
an
fine.
episode.
She was like a nice lady. That's
Yeah.
from what I can see.
She
But
seems
whatever.
decent. Yeah.
All right. Where next? What fabulous couple we talk about next?
Let's talk about the couple that is probably next after the couple that broke up this episode. There's probably, I can't see them lasting till decision day.
I mean, we saw them on decision day in the previews.
We've
but
seen broken up couples on decision day before.
That's true.
Chris and Paige were at
Lord.
decision day.
Lord. But it does really, like the previews are really giving like we're here to break up with you, Dr. Pepper. We're here to break up with each other in front of you.
Yeah. So they're in their kitchen. I really like her orange top, I have to say. It was really cute. You don't remember it?
No, I don't.
That's weird. They're making homemade pizza. She's giving instruction on how to make it. They're kneading the dough. He said, this was a great idea. She's like, yeah, I just thought it'd be a really good way to offset last night. Because last night was when he was all mad about Dr. Pia's advice. And he was like, it was just a little miscommunication. And Emily's like, well, I really enjoyed Pia. She understands, like she says she really understands or really enjoyed Pia. And she also understands that he doesn't want to do therapy, but she really wants him to start opening up and sharing more. She's like, it's important moving forward that they're actually taking action on the stuff. He's like, yeah, but that little exercise that she told us was a little odd. And we get a flashback to the conversation when they talked to Dr. Pia yesterday. And Dr. Pia told them to do an exercise to touch each other from their head to their toe in as little clothing as they're comfortable with. And so he's like, like he tells this to Emily. He's like, can we like pivot and just expand on like the hugging? Like, can we just agree to hug more?
He's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Basically, he's like, what that chick said? F it. I ain't doing that.
Imagine how this makes Emily feel. That her husband doesn't want to do a simple she's not asking them to stare in each other's eyes while kissing. She's not asking them to do like chocolate covered strawberries or whatever. She's not giving them a basket of things to go experiment with. Like they've done all of that in the past. She is asking them just to touch each other from head to toe. And he said, mm-mm.
And it just must make Emily feel just that much more unattractive, right? Like you don't even want to bother to see me with little clothing on. Like you don't want to. I'm wondering if it's a Brandon thing of like, I don't know, if I see you almost naked, I might be tempted to have sex with you. And that wouldn't be right because I don't like you. So I'm wondering if it's like that sort of thing. If he's just
I can't make sense of his mind. No.
If he's just so turned off by her, he doesn't want to do nothing with her. He gives her the piteous little hug. He doesn't even use both arms.
The hug was awful.
Doesn't use both arms. It was almost
like
almost a side hug. It was almost a Jason and Asia side hug.
He literally almost. He literally could give any coworker that type of hug.
Yeah, use one arm. Just, bro, what is wrong with you? You can't even. This is your wife. I've seen people give better hugs. Anywhere. I don't know. Like
Right.
It's just the definition of no effort.
Yeah, literally. And so, yeah, she was like, well, hugging is complementary to talking more. They showed someone's pizza that had a bunch of pepperoni and a bunch of pineapple. Was that his?
I don't know. It felt like they were, doing that, getting ready to put in the oven, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was
Gross.
like, that's way too much pineapple for a pizza.
Disgusting.
I'm not an anti-pineapple person. I don't put it on my pizza, but if it was on pizza and I was at a place to eat it, I've eaten it before. It's not awful. It's just disorienting. So anyway, he said like they can talk through some of it later. And she's like, look, I'm committed, even though like I may seem frustrated. You are a little bit too. She's I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to. And he's like, same.
That's his buzzword. Same.
Mm-hmm. Same. You pull the string. He says same.
Same.
And so it is their 1 month as well. He says they've made a lot of progress with their communication. They're going horseback riding today.
Okay, first of all, she goes, I really want to do some more like really exciting stuff and like suspenseful and with a bunch of adrenaline, like scary adventure stuff. I'm like, oh, careful what you wish for.
Ask for, girl.
Foreshadowing. They did that
Yes.
they just did that to troll her. They were as soon as she gets into that accident, they're like, you know what? I have some great footage.
Flashback too. Yeah. She's like getting carried away. They're like, yeah, Emily, remember when you said
how's that for adrenaline?
Just I'm not looking forward to that episode because that looked like a serious accident.
And he's gonna handle it so terribly too.
He is.
He's not gonna go to her with the hospital. He's gonna go back to their apartment.
They're gonna have like a group thing, and he's like, Emily's still in the hospital. She should get out in a few days though.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her since. Like he's gonna handle it so poorly.
You just know it.
She's gonna walk in from the hospital back to their apartment. It's like, oh, you're back. Great.
Yeah. So they drive to this horseback riding thing. She thinks the next month is gonna go a little bit slower because they have some serious stuff to talk about.
He says nothing. He's just like,
he's like, how are we gonna talk if I'm not gonna talk?
See if you make me talk.
Right. They go to the Devil's Thumb Ranch. It's like
who would want to go to somewhere named the Devil's Thumb? Not Austin. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
You're not gonna catch Austin dead there. Literally.
So we get a confessional from her saying this month has been a lot. They're riding horses around on the snow. His horse's name is Gucci. He falls in love. He's just like he loves Gucci. He's just talking to Gucci.
Gucci not having it though. Gucci tried to buck him off, and, and Gucci pretended he slipped and tried to buck him right off. He's like, damn, didn't get him off. I think Gucci can tell when someone has bad energy. I think.
Yeah, he says, that's what she makes the comment about doing something with more adrenaline. So then we get a confessional. She's like, yeah, he really bonded with that horse. He finally saw some emotion. He felt a spark with the horse and not her.
This really is the first time you've really seen him get this animated about anything. I love you so much, Gucci. You're so great. I have no issue telling you my emotions for you.
So they're at dinner. And tell me why we saw this conversation a week ago when they released the tapes of they released this. They also already released the conversation with Claire and Cameron.
No, they did the whole anniversary dinner. They did an 11-minute anniversary dinner clip.
And then they also released this as a sneak peek. This conversation with her and Brennan.
yeah, they did it on After Party 2 weeks ago when they took their break. Showing us the whole dang episode.
Right. They're like, but you still got to wait for the whole thing. Maybe that's why it wasn't exciting, because we knew these two parts were coming. I don't know. So we get a confessional from her saying that she feels like today was a good stepping stone for them, and they get their food. And I was like, I feel like if I'm at a dinner date, like, I feel like me and my boyfriend are talking about a lot before we even get our food. I was like, they just got their food. They didn't talk about anything.
Nothing. I am convinced they sit there in silence most of the time. They're just in their apartment. I don't know how many rooms this apartment has, but I'm sure they're in separate rooms most of the day.
Right.
If she comes to the living room, he goes to the bedroom. I'm sure he's just avoiding her at all moments.
So yeah, they get their food. She said this week couldn't have gone better for her. She feels like they've gotten into a rhythm. He's like, yeah, you really made it a comfortable place to live, which has allowed me to stay moved in.
you didn't hassle me and force me to leave about spilling my emotions. So I appreciate you not being a nag.
Right. He said it's been fun, but it's been very tough for him personally. He said normally he would have ran from any red flag in the past.
It's just been so tough on me. Like, you can't imagine
Could you
how
imagine being
hard
me?
it is. Yeah, you can't imagine how hard I have it. I'm stuck with this girl I don't like.
She said, so I'm a red flag? He's like, well, I mean, yeah. He said,
I just gotta wonder if this was some
out
expert
of place.
trolling.
Yes.
Some expert trolling on the editor's part. Because I just can't even imagine saying that to anyone. Be like,
You
yeah,
can
you're
imagine
totally a
being
red flag.
Brennan.
You're definitely a red flag. And then he doesn't even really back it up this way, because the way they showed it in the preview made us seem like he was going to tell her all the issues he has with her and why she is a red flag.
Right.
But then it pivots to something else.
He's like, well, it's very uncomfortable to like have something and then have it gone and you don't know why. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Like, you think I don't understand that? You think I don't know that? Like, this is exactly what's happening to me right now, Brendan. Not you. It happened to me.
Exactly. You were the one that lost feelings.
Right. Like, this guy is such a jerk.
He said in the past, he would have just ran when something fizzled out. And he's been trying. She's like, well, I need to learn more about this like running thing. He said, this isn't like any relationship. I have a script.
Emily, I think you missed a cue right there. You missed a line. So you want to go back? I mean, can we take that again though? Like, can we? Yeah.
Montre, can I have some water?
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm a little parched. Can I get some chapstick maybe? A little chat.
And we could take it from the top.
Yeah. We could take it from I've been really trying.
He said, this isn't like any relationship. It's totally different. He said he's giving it time. He's seeing if anything changes. And we get a confessional from her. She's like, we've already been taking it day by day. She needs to see a little bit more of him opening up and expressing himself. And she says, so what in the past, like, what has your pace been after, like, you know, you've hit it off with someone, had the spark, then what's the pace been after that? And he's like, I'm just trying to be honest.
It's like, you know what? Actually, I can take that again. I can be more dead inside. I can do that. I can be less emotional. That's what you need.
And he's like, he doesn't know how to navigate this. She's like, I don't know how to navigate this either.
Oh my God. She does give the weirdest expressions when he's talking. She's like so wide-eyed when he's just like.
She's very animated. So it makes no sense why he can't see that something's going on.
Right.
She's like, not just like.
I don't know. Later he says, I don't know. She never tells me what's wrong or anything's going on. Like,
it's like her face says it all.
She has nothing but that. What are you talking about? This just shows more like he's just not listening. He's just not in this.
She does all the faces. She's so expressive. She's telling you everything.
This face means something's wrong.
He's like, no, that's her thinking face.
The wide eyes is like, I can't believe you just said that. Like, that's ridiculous that you said that. I can't believe you just said that.
She looks all over the room.
Crazy.
So then we go to the group dinner with everybody, right? And so Becca asks, like, okay, what advice would you give your old self? She's like, well, I always go by this motto, ride the wave. And that, you know,
before this, Brennan chuckles. He chortles, I would call it. He's just like,
like, don't
run,
do it.
run,
Yeah.
Run from the altar. Do what Mystery Girl X did and run.
Right. And so she's like, yeah, like this has been that type of experience, that type of ride the wave experience, but she wishes she would have been more prepared for like the ripple effects. And so she tells Brennan, like, you're next. He's like, Cameron, you can go.
Cam, you go. Cam, you go. I don't want to do it. Like this.
She's annoyed, obviously, because he didn't answer.
This man in this hoodie and just looking like he just came off the couch watching Netflix.
Right? She's like, you don't remember we had dinner with them? Oh, no,
God.
I didn't.
Fine. I'll go. but I'm not getting changed. I'm wearing
She
this.
looked so nice. Claire was all dressed up.
Everyone's
Even Cameron
dressed
had
up.
on a long button
Austin
down.
didn't wear a hat, man.
Yes,
This is big time. This is
this
big
was
boy
a nice
stuff.
dinner.
This is big boy stuff. Austin didn't wear a hat for this. You think Austin came in and saw Brennan, what he was wearing? He's like, I could have worn a hat.
Yeah.
Becca made me not wear a hat. I could have worn a hat. Look at this guy's wearing.
Brennan literally looked like he got woken up in the middle of his nap.
Could not care less. Just bumming it on the couch, watching TV, like, I guess I'll go then if you're gonna make me.
Right. So we get a confessional from her. She's like, she needs him to do better because she deserves better. She needs him to step the F up. So then Emily asks everybody, so what's everybody nervous about? And then the only thing I noted from here was that Brennan was like, well, do you mean excited about? I'm like, why are you trying to correct her?
Don't you be excited this is almost over? Don't you be excited the torture is almost ending?
So she asked, there was a point where she asked Claire and Cameron if they tell each other what they want. So that sparks a whole thing that we'll get into with Cameron and Claire. But with this, as soon as she asked, she was like, do y'all tell each other what you want? I looked right at Brennan and he like rolled his eyes. I was like, why does he hate her?
Hates her so much.
And so Brennan asked if there's anything that Emily and or Becca and Austin would do at this point. And Emily laughs because she's like, like, can't believe he's asking a question. And Cameron's like, I think you need to answer this one. And Brennan says it's been a process to open up. Like, oh, I don't know if opening up quicker would have been better or not, but so he says a lot of nothing.
A lot of nothing.
Claire asks Emily and Brennan if they see a future with each other. And Emily's like, way to stir the pot.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'll let him answer first. He's like, we're just taking it day by day and trying to make the previous day better than the next. Isn't it the opposite? Don't you want to make the next day better than the previous day?
We're taking it day by day and trying to make the previous day. Oh, I got a smudge on my script. Better than the next.
Like, isn't it getting progressively worse? If you're making the previous day better than the next,
I
it's
think
just getting worse and worse.
There,
that is what they've been doing, actually.
True.
It started out great.
Day by day,
each day it gets worse.
Day by day. Every excruciating long day with
Right.
Emily.
So we get a confessional from her. She says it's just the same answers. She's like, Austin doesn't even say that many words, but he's communicating. So she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. She gets up, goes to the bathroom. He's like, I'll walk with you. She's like, no.
What? Okay. Do you remember, like, speaking of Katina and Elijah, do you remember that season where he acted a fool at the dinner and they were leaving and he goes like to put his arm out for Katina and she's like, no, like, you just showed your whole ass. I'm not going to take your arm.
Exactly.
What this was. She's like, I'll walk with you. I honestly, do men usually walk with their women to the bathroom?
No.
Like,
if you're at this type of situation, it would have been Claire or Emily going to the bathroom with her.
What is this?
Or Becca.
I think Brendan's just in a mode where he's like, I'm supposed to do what a husband would do. This is what a husband does, right? Walks his wife to the bathroom.
Don't we walk our ladies to the bathroom?
What?
Never.
I'm a chivalrous man. If I ever got about like follow my eyes to the bathroom, she's like, what are you doing?
Go sit back down. And so she gets up, go to the bathroom. Claire's like, well, I guess I'm going to the bathroom. And Cameron's like, you have to go to the bathroom? She said, nope.
Cameron does not understand the concept.
He doesn't.
He's like, what? What?
He said, guess we'll see you later.
What are you talking about? I'm glad. I'm so happy that Cameron's leaving because I cannot maintain this New Zealand accent. I can't do it.
You're struggling.
Yes.
And so we get Claire and Claire and Emily talking.
You cannot get any of their
I
names.
can't. And Emily says he just doesn't understand. And Claire's like, yeah, he's giving you nothing. And she's like, but in some stupid way, I still care about him. Girl, why?
Why? What
are
has
you
he
hanging on
ever
to?
done?
The potential.
to
That's
garner
it.
this care. Like I guess, but
That's
I see
it.
no potential. Who sees potential here? No one.
Just
can
the
see
fact that
potential.
she's married.
Yeah, I think so. Ugh.
Yeah. So Claire goes up to Claire goes I'm
Brennan?
losing it. Claire goes up
Brennan?
to Brennan and she says, this is what not podcasting about this show for 2 weeks does. Just out of sight, out of mind. So Claire goes up to Brennan and she's like, she's really hurt because she really likes you.
The look that Brennan gives
He's
in
like,
this moment.
"Crap."
He looks around and sees the camera. He's like, I can't say what I really want to say because
He wanted to be like, why? I give her
Why?
nothing.
I don't care about her. F her. Like that's what he wanted to say. He's like, he literally looks around. He's like, oh, there go the camera. He still doesn't understand the concept of a hot mic, I don't think. Because if he didn't see the camera, he wouldn't have thought he was Mike, so he would have said what he wanted to say. But he looked around, he's like, he just said nothing. Never mind.
So we get a confessional from him. He says he cares about her a lot. So he's trying not to hurt her.
False.
Brennan, get out of here.
Do you think Brennan and Claire should have been matched up?
I think that could have been something. I've seen that before, an online chatter. I think that could have, but it also could have clashed with, well, maybe he'd be more open. We saw him saw a little glimmer in his eye with the horse Gucci, but with Claire being a therapist and she's always drawing on that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That could be
very
tough.
True. That would have been a problem
when he shuts down, but he may have been more willing to.
You're always trying to therapize me.
Right.
Why don't you stop? What about Cam and Emily?
I could see that. I think she would have found him endearing.
She was down to clown early, and he likes affection, so that could have worked.
Down to clown
Yeah. What do you want to call it? DPF?
True. So they go into a car. And she asked if he didn't see that she was upset the whole dinner. And he's like, oh, no, I didn't. And she's like, it's frustrating in a group setting. And she's crying. She's like, this is embarrassing. So he's just like, no, like, how am I supposed to know? And so we get a confessional. She's like, nothing has changed. She's crying. And he's like, I don't have the answers. And she's like, tonight was really bad. He's like, I'm trying. And I know it's not good enough, but this is all I've got.
This is all I have.
He said, I know that you're giving more than I am.
That's all I got. I got nothing. I'm giving you all of that nothing. I'm giving you so much nothing.
She says she doesn't want to resent him, but that will happen if he doesn't start making some changes.
How has it not happened already? He's not going to make the changes. You should know that. You should see that and be done with this thing.
It's like it's not going to happen overnight.
Burn the whole season down. Everyone just quit.
Please.
Okay? Let it die. We can have a show only about Michael and his new woman. Okay, we'll be fine.
Did they already shoot season 18?
They're probably. I have no idea, but I'd imagine they're either in the midst of shooting it right now, or
I think they need to have a conversation.
We need to get Michael's friend Paige, back up here and be like, listen, you guys need to change your methodology. Like, you need to change what you're doing and how you're doing it, because this ain't working. Okay,
at all. Well,
I'm sure they blame
it's under season 18 is underway, and it's in Chicago again.
I'm sure that they blame the city. They blame so many other things besides themselves.
Because they were casting for Chicago and Austin at the same time.
They just need a better system of picking their, men, honestly. Because the past couple seasons has been mostly men issues. So yes, do better, MAFS. Do better,
please. All right. So we don't even have to go through it. We're both a 1.
Both a 1. Rock bottom.
Perfect.
Rock bottom.
All right. Last but not least,
Cameron and Claire. Hello, Claire. I like a divorce, Claire. Let me go, Claire. This is basically his whole thing. Let me go. Let me leave, please.
Happy.
Free me from my torture. All right, so they're trying to have fun, right? Pia, in her wisdom for everyone, says, "Just go have fun. That's what you have to do." So they go to a ski and snowboard place. Cameron obviously does not want to be here. He would be rather be anywhere, but here you can see it on his face the whole freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
In a confessional, he says, "We're still trying to figure out." He's still trying to figure her out. She says one thing one day and changes it up the next. We kind of see it on after party.
Right.
Things change in an after party apparently. They put on their gear and they head up the quote unquote mountain. It's like a simulated snow mountain or whatever that they can ski on indoors. That's where they are. That's what they're doing. In a confessional, she says she hopes this brings out the fun, playful side in them and will really help to turn this whole thing around. They do the whole little skiing thing. She makes him, let her go under his legs. He seems to be annoyed at all of her instructions, but they do end up doing the whole through the legs thing. In a confessional, she says she will continue to try, but it's hard. He's given a lot of his energy to this, but she feels that he's now checked out, and it really makes things uncomfortable.
It's been a month. That
Yeah.
Imagine just like you're interested in someone, you keep texting them to hang out. Are you gonna do that for a month? No. Oh, I would hope not.
Yeah. So after they finish the whole skiing thing, they sit down and talk, and they're like, "Yeah, we're really." He's like, "We're really killing it with the fun." He couldn't be more over this at all. She tells him, it all feels kind of weird. And she says, we didn't sign up to be in a platonic marriage, and then it feels kind of weird. Cam's like, "Yeah, that's what I've been saying the past like 3 weeks. Like, come on, let's get on the same page here." She reminds him that they're here to have fun and remove the stress. He says he doesn't want to get in the habit of having to schedule their fun. He just wants it to be spontaneous. She says, well, some things require planning and they really need to try. In confessional, she says she's worried he's going to become resentful of her. And she doesn't want that because he's like a best friend to her. Since when? Where did this happen? So many times in this segment, I'm like, proof. Give me the receipts. When? When did you have fun? When did you like each other? I never saw it. I never saw it. It's crazy to me. He tells her, listen, they're having fun, but there's still this looming feeling over all of it. She tells him that she does want to embrace the fun, though, and they end their little date. Later, we get visits from Lauren and Onion. Lauren goes to talk to Claire. Onion goes to talk to Cam.
I wish we saw more from that side of the conversation. I felt like they lingered too much on the guys, and I was like, who is Orion to give advice?
For real. So let's focus on the Lauren and Claire part first. Lauren tells Claire, because Claire asks, so how are you doing? And have you talked to Onion? Claire says, I'm doing good. And no, I have not spoken to Onion. We are giving each other space. Claire does tell Lauren, just something doesn't feel there with her and Cam. She's still unsure if he's attracted to her and wonders if he wants to make it work just because they're married, or does he really want to be married to her? Claire says she doesn't want this to end in divorce, but they have really hit a wall. Lauren tells Claire, listen, you're so focused on the future. Claire says, yeah, that's what Pia said.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe Pia knows what she's talking about.
Like it's good advice or something. I don't know. And Claire says they're really trying to focus on the present and have fun, but it all feels very forced. She tells Lauren she doesn't want him to hate her for being forced to be there with her. Lauren says, listen, when people leave so fast, it's a control issue. Now, she copied this right from Dr. Pia.
Yes.
People leave so fast, it's a control issue. They don't have control and they hate it. And if she leaves, she's going to have nothing but what ifs. And that is the worst part of it all. So we go over to Onion and Cameron. Onion tells Cam, yeah, I've not spoken to Lauren, and says the little potluck dinner they all had really reinforced how far apart they were about what happened between them. In a confessional, Cam says, I'm
like, how do we get back around to what we saw in the previews?
You're right. Cam says that hearing Onion's perspective is very helpful, as he did what he felt was best for him, and Cam is in a similar position. He tells Onion that he's in a spot where he has to advocate for himself, and when he's at his breaking point, and ready to go, she does something to reel him back in. Like any indication that she wants to make this work. Like the other night, he was going to leave, but she said he would rather him stay at the apartment with her. So that reeled him back in. Cam then tells Onion that any chance he gets, he has shown that he wants to make this work. He's attracted to her, and that he puts the emphasis on this, he had feelings for her. Oh,
He said,
okay.
and yes, I said had.
Ass feelings. Ass tense, baby. Onion, the nerve of this Onion, tells Cam that Onion wishes that Onion had advocated for himself even more than he did. I don't think that's possible. You only thought of yourself, Onion.
Exclusively there was no thought about Lauren at any point.
There was never a
Don't get
time
me
where you
started.
thought about anyone but yourself. So, and Onion says, so, you know, in my opinion, it's not in your best interest to stay in this and be the good husband. You know, I don't want you to get cut off at the knees. You have to be your own advocate. Onion's basically like, run, run now, leave now, take it from a professional quitter, quit. Cam tells Onion that he knows once he says he's leaving, Claire's going to say something that like she really wants to try now, and that is going to make him come right back. Onion says, well, don't get reeled back in, because once the feelings go, it's harder to continue to try. Onion's like, yeah, come on my side. Come run away with me. Come run. Like,
Let's
be
both
part
be
of the runaway.
single. Me and Michael meet every week.
Yeah. We have a support group.
Right. We're just waiting on Brennan.
Yeah, come be a quitter with me. Yeah, so that was Lauren and Onion. Good to see Lauren. Onion, I could have done without.
Same.
So we get the one we get the 1 month not celebration. In a confessional, Claire tells us that they've chosen not to celebrate their 1 month anniversary since things are going so bad and there's so much weight and things are so confusing that she has no idea how she feels. The word anniversary has just too much for them to soak in.
Understandably so.
I guess, but to just be like, we're just not going to do anything about it.
What are they celebrating?
I don't know. I mean, they had a good time, right? The honeymoon was okay for a minute.
They're best friends.
Yeah, they're besties. We then get Cam, who has apparently been living his best life with his family friend Artilio. He says, we just got back from a day at Pueblo riding in the canyons. We had so much fun. It was so great to be away from Claire. He says he was able to clear his head and spend time with those he loves. I don't know who Artilio. I know we've met Artilio before, but he seemed like he was like, yeah, it's good to spend time with you. Guy that I know. He just didn't seem like Cam had his arm around the guy.
It felt like camera shyness a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. He's like, yeah, okay, great. Cool. But we then get a scene of Claire telling us that Cam sent her a text letting her know that he's not going to be coming home. She says she does respect the fact that he has caught feelings for her and is feeling the need to step back for a minute. And says, you know, the lack of affection and all the differences like religion has really made her, you know, sad and empty that this didn't work. She wants this, but it's sad that she can't meet him where he is at. And she says he's such a great person and she wants it, but it's been a lot mentally for her. Cut to her crying. Now, let's smash cut this to after party where she's doing nothing but trashing him.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about she came on to him, tried to seduce him, and he said, ew.
Can you imagine it? Like, unless he is just this complete, like, and I don't even know whose side I'm on in this situation, but can you picture him saying ill in a serious manner?
Rudy was like, he literally said ill. And Claire said, yeah, he said ill. I don't know. I
feel like that's not her.
To say ill, it would have to be something so uncharacteristic and so like desperate that it seemed like, oh, no, like this, we're not here. Like, this is not where we're at. This is a false thing you're doing. This is a thing just to try and do something. I don't want that. I want something real. So maybe that's where it would come from. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he said, look, there's mildew. And she said, he said ill. He said ill.
We've seen so much miscommunication between these two. I feel like there is definitely more to the story. And I don't think it's a simple, because she already thought that he was not attracted to her. And so anything that he's, Exactly.
But her that
He
she was.
said it at the altar.
Yeah.
How breathtaking he thought she was. And I feel like anything he was saying, she
always spun it negative.
It supported her theory that he wasn't attracted to her.
Yeah, she always spun it negative to fit the narrative she wanted to make this. I think honestly,
He saw a bug in the room. Ew.
Ew. You're talking about me?
Yeah.
What? No. But I almost think she never found him attractive, and she tried to really spin a narrative that he didn't find her attractive either, to make it kind of an even playing field in a way. Like, neither of us found each other attractive, right? Like, even in the beginning, she's like, "You don't want to kiss me, right?" He's like, "No, I did.
Yeah, I do.
I really did. Like,
yeah.
I'd love to kiss you, actually." And she's like, "What? No,
you would feel weird, right?
You don't want to kiss me. No, stop it, silly. Don't make me cry."
It's ridiculous.
So we get prepared for the dinner. They are arriving separately to the dinner. She says it's hard for her to go through this dinner, not sure of how things stand with Cam, because she hasn't seen him since he left like 3 days ago. And she says, with all the other couples possibly being happy, it's gonna be really hard. She's really kind of obsessed with how well all the other, like, it's almost like a competition of how well the couples are doing. And I think she's mostly upset that she's coming to this in a bad position, right? Because last time they all met, she was like, "Oh, actually, we're in the lead right now. Like, we're doing
not
the
as
best.
bad off as they are."
And now it's like, "Oh, actually, we're kind of, in the back of the pack now. So this isn't going to go be great."
Yeah.
So she's not sure how this is going to go.
It's never about them,
right? In a confessional, Cam says, he's not sure where Claire is in terms of their marriage. It makes him anxious to think that they still may be on different pages about what they both want. So we're at the dinner. Becca asks what advice would you give to your past self? Cam says his advice is, no matter how hard you think it will be harder. Claire says, there's no manual for this and you'll be confused, so be aware of that. Emily brings up what's everyone nervous about for the next month? Cam says the thought comes to mind, the next month will be about fallout. He feels like their marriage is in a place where they have misalignments about what they want. He has been waiting till they are on the same page and thinks they will be soon. Spoiler alert, that page is divorce, okay? That's the page he wants them to be on.
Right.
She says she's been so up and down and unsure of where she's at. For the past few days, she's done a lot of reflecting. It's no longer confused about where they are. Emily asks, so have you guys even really talked about what each other really want? And like you said, that sets it off. Cam's like, okay, let's talk about it. On the count of 3, let's both say what we really want. And then they do the 1, 2, 3. Cam says divorce. Claire says to separate. Cam's like, same thing. Same. So this is done, right? We're good. I can go. I'm good. I can. You can take the mic back off me. No. Claire says, okay, now we're on the same page. Cam says, well, that hadn't been the case before, because I've been on this page. Like I've been waiting for you to catch up. Claire says she does regret dragging Cam along while she was unsure of what she wanted and hates that she hurt him in the process. But she doesn't regret marrying him. She just regrets how she handled things in the beginning of their marriage. Now, I honestly, it's so weird because it sounds like she's taking accountability, but it sounds false. I don't understand. I don't get it.
It's because now that it's finally like, okay, we're about to be done, right? Okay. Woo, relief. I'm done with this. She's making it seem like she's done all she can do. He's making the decision. It's like a relief off her back that he is the one making this. He's ending it, not her. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, I did all I could do for this marriage. What can I do if he wants out?
She's basically saying he so early decided to call this quits, but I was unsure. I tried to save this, but I do regret that he didn't want to be in this while I was trying to decide if I wanted to. Like, I think that's where my confusion is, because it sounds like she's taking some of the blame, but the way that we just reversed it and spun it, I think that is correct. She's expertly spinning this story.
Right.
So Cam. Cam then really brings the mood even further down and tells a story about how, a while ago he had to put a dog down. And he talks about, he wasn't sure whether to put the dog down immediately or wait a few days. But he waited a few days, and he would never take those last days back. And he wouldn't take back any of the days he spent with Claire. He's so glad he didn't put her down after the honeymoon, I guess. They both say they have no regrets. Cut to after party. I think they both have many regrets.
Yeah.
Claire says he has taught her things about herself that she had no idea about. And he says he's an even better man than before he met her. How? Tell me how, Cam. Like, elaborate,
Let's reflect.
please.
Let's dissect that.
Yeah, tell me, Cam. How are you a better man?
It's just something to say when there's nothing to say.
This feels like empty words. Like both.
Yeah,
of them.
right.
Words. She's, like I said, she says, "Oh, you've taught me things about myself that I had no idea about." Like what?
Right.
Say them. Say them out loud. Are they in the room with us right now? Say them.
Right.
I just, I don't know if they pre-planned this. Like we're going to win at divorcing. Like that, we're gonna make this look awesome. We're gonna make this look great. While behind the scenes, they're just trashing each other.
Yeah.
In a confessional, he says he regrets nothing, and the fact that they were able to acknowledge that they are actually really over helps them not hurt each other more. Austin says, "You guys are handling this so maturely, and it's amazing that you can still be friends." Later on the way home, the two remaining couples, basically, well, not two remaining couples, but Cameron and Claire and Austin and Becca are in a little party bus on the way back to the apartment complex, and they talk about how weird it is that Emily and Brennan are such a bad place. And Claire and Cam said, "Well, we can confirm that we are separating. Cam's going to move out of the apartment. He's going to go back to his house in Boulder."
I was trying to figure out how far Boulder is because I'm like, is this it for Cameron?
Like, is this going to be like a 2-hour car ride, and
to
production's not gonna come meet him in Boulder?
Oh, it's 34 minutes. Not bad. It's
Not
like
bad.
just on the outskirts.
It didn't sound like it was 3 states away.
Yeah, I'm moving back to Boulder. Nice knowing y'all.
Yeah, see ya. I'm out. So they get home, and wouldn't you know it, what's waiting for them? But pictures of their wedding and their wedding vows. They couldn't have taken this stuff out of the apartment before they got home. Like, we could have walked over to the apartment complex. Like, hey guys, this anniversary thing, it ain't happening. Get all the stuff out of there. It's a bad vibe now. But maybe they left it in there to troll them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they get into the apartment and they look at all their wedding pictures for a minuscule minute. I was like, are they gonna be like, you know what? Never mind. Let's just try and stick this out. Look at how much fun we had at our wedding. But no, that doesn't happen. Cam's like, well, guess I'll be on my way. Right. They gonna get my stuff and get the heck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
In confessional, she says, look at the pictures at what has made this hard. She saw so much excitement.
Felt so odd. Why?
She says she saw so much excitement in herself in those pictures, but so much changed in a month, and they're getting separated, and it's hard to come to terms with. She says she's finally come to a place where she realizes this wasn't working. She's sad about it. Mm-hmm. He says, I did marry at first sight with a vision of how this would all play out. This is not what I was expecting. She says, we both deserve to live happy lives. And she's ready to move on, but she hopes this isn't the last he sees or hears from him. He says, oh, it won't be. I'll see you at the reunion. Right. But until then, don't contact me, okay?
He's like, I'm showing up to as many after parties from this point forward as possible.
Girl, I'm spilling all the tea. So I'll see you in our war of words.
Because Rudy's going to try to get the other side to this. She's like, when Claire was last here.
Listen, Rudy, I love you. And I love how you handled Claire, because she did handle Claire. She held Claire's feet to the fire.
Yeah.
She asked her about all types of stuff, but she didn't ask her the most important question. So, Claire, we hear you like a little, a little something, with the black man, with the muscular black man. What's up with that? Is there truth to that? Did you tell Cam that? Is that for real? That was the one question I wanted to learn. What else did she grill Claire on?
It was the part because when they were going back and forth, it was really the Let's see, I thought I took a note on it. The ill part. Because Claire, Rudy's like, let me play devil's advocate. Because she's like, this is not the Cameron I know, basically.
Yeah.
And Claire was coming from, you haven't, like, this was off camera, this was off camera.
Yeah. And
So
Rudy
then
was like,
Rudy just settled on, okay, I haven't seen everything.
Yeah, Rudy's like, he kept saying that you were attractive. She's like, he said that to other people, never to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So listen, I'm gonna need, scrap the whole reunion. I could just do a whole hour on a debate between Claire and Cameron to really get. They're both in the same place to get the real story. Like, okay, Claire, on November 22nd on After Party, you said that Cameron said this. Cameron, what is the real story? What is the truth? Same thing for Claire. Cameron said, you said this. What's the truth? I just need a debate. I need them to be in the same room. Maybe we'll get that on the reunion. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed.
Kevin Frazier, come with it.
I feel like I'm going to be disappointed. Everyone's just going to be like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. But I need some real facts behind these stories that we're getting on After Party, because it really is just a he said, she said type of thing right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know the truth, because they probably will just continue to be like, no, okay, you're really going to say that? You're really...
it's not, that's not what I said, Claire. That's not how I said that at all. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the end of the road for Cameron and Claire. A little bit of a drama for the next time on. Apparently, Cameron has developed a heart condition right after the divorce,
which is very similar to the story he told us about his dad.
Yeah.
After his mom's divorce. I was like, that is a very odd similarity.
He says, I'm not sure if it was from the divorce or from something else. So I don't know what this heart condition is. I don't know. And Claire is tearfully crying to Dr. Pia. Now listen, y'all, we'll say this. I'll say this for this season. This is the most expert involvement we've ever got.
It's like every episode.
Yeah.
Every episode. We might skip one, but we had Pastor Cal this week.
Yeah. But this is how much of a dumpster fire this thing has been. It's inspired the experts to come out of the woodwork and actually try to help.
Except for who? Dr. Pepper, because she said no.
I show up where I want to, when I want to.
She said I show up 2 times a season.
Yep.
20-something episodes, 2 times.
I show up for the good parts. I show up to tell Michael he's rematched. I'm not dealing with these other idiots.
Oh, yeah. I forgot she was on this episode.
Yeah, she was there. Well, they were all there in the beginning of the episode to talk about, to get together and talk about to meet up with Michael, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Cameron and Claire, we hardly knew you. Another one bites the dust. 3 out of 5 marriages torched this season.
There's no way. That's what they said. They're bringing back Michael because there's no way we're just covering these 2 couples.
Can't do it. All right.
Yeah.
I would have to question my commitment.
Yeah. What about ratings?
I mean, 0.
Oh, we didn't even rate them last week.
Oh, we didn't?
All right, episode 10.
Well, it would have been a 1.
It would have been a 1, yeah, for sure.
Now it's a 0 because there's no more.
Yeah. Yeah, we're done rating them. So yeah, that I was trying to think, is there anything else from the next time on that I wanted to call out?
I mean, we met Chloe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a nice lady.
A little bit. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because is there going to be an opportunity for them to bond with the other couples, or because Michael knows them at this point? And are the other couples going to be acting like, oh, yeah, I remember when I was 2 days in too.
Yeah. That's how it is on the like Married at First Sight Australia. Like when the new couple comes in, like, yeah. It's a rough go, buddy. It's a rough trip on the Bobby, mate. And it's like, you've been married for 2 weeks. Calm down.
Right.
You don't know what marriage really is yet. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. I'm excited to see the Michael show now. Like, let's just skip the other couples. We can just focus on Michael now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for sticking with us. This was it was more fun talking about it than experiencing it on the episode. Always, yes. Make sure y'all go subscribe to our Love at First Sight feed, and also make sure you go join the Facebook group. This week the password is Gucci. And yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about episode 12. Jason, what are you up to?
This is my only gig for right now. Coming up, I will be talking about the upcoming Marvel show Echo with Sasha Joseph over on the Everything is Super feed on post show recap. So come check us out when that premieres. You can find me on Twitter, JAYR1085, for all of my awesome musings and banter and retweets and all that good stuff. So check me out.
Yeah, and same. I also will be covering Echo. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. You don't even know what or who Echo is.
I would have no idea what I'm talking about. Yes, you can catch me here every week. You can follow me at Aysha like Asia. It's AYSHA like ASIA. And we will be back next week to talk about episode 12. But of course, you can chat with us in between now and then on our Facebook group if you go join. So we will see y'all next week. Bye.